Good afternoon, this is Tammy Fraley, and I'd like to talk to you about writing reflections, that is, writing about showcase artifacts this afternoon. First of all, I'd like for you to look at the General Education Core Skills page with me and the Program Outcomes page. You can find samples of these pages on the SPCC ePortfolio website. These two pages are in the faculty example that faculty created for students. Okay, the first thing that I would point out with the core skill artifacts is that they both have the same format. Okay, and anyway, you're not seeing there, you're seeing like the screen, but anyway, this first part is the introduction, and then what we're looking at right here is a reflection, a complete reflection. Okay, first of all, we have the written communication outcome, we have the outcome statement, we have the PDF or artifact that is a demonstration of the core skill written communication, and then we have 3 paragraphs of reflection. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is writing that. Okay, then when you scroll on down, you are going to see that for oral communication, there's the same setup. You have the outcome, you have the outcome statement, you have the artifact, and then you have 3 paragraphs of reflection. Same thing for intercultural competence, same for technology, same for analysis and interpretation, and same for problem solving. Okay, so we just learned what the setup is. Sorry, I'm having to move this back over. So anyway, if you study the General Education Core Skills page, and if you look at how it is set up, it's going to tell you the organization exactly. So the Gen Ed page and the Program Outcome page are set up the very same way. Okay, a little bit more on the artifacts. Why on earth are we writing about artifacts anyway? We are writing about artifacts because they're incomplete until you, that is the student, tell viewers what you've learned. Okay, your artifacts have already been evaluated for your courses, and your instructors have decided what they think that you have learned based on the specific student learning outcomes for that particular course and that particular assignment. However, you have not had the opportunity to talk about what you actually learned. There may be learning, and I'm sure there is learning, that is not included in what the instructor discovered. So this is your opportunity to think about it. So it is a discovery process, and it informs future action. So, Ms. Fraley, what do you mean by this? I mean that you can take your weaknesses and you can learn from them and decide what you will do different in the future to make it better and improve yourself. So when you're working at the university, doing things in your new program, when you finally get that job that you've always wanted to get, you can constantly be improving yourself. Another reason that we write about artifacts is that it is a critical thinking activity. Critical thinking is highly prized in academic and career circles. In order to write about the artifacts, you have to meld different experiences from over your courses, from over your program, and decide what your goals are going to be and what you've actually learned. So there's a lot of pulling together of different sources. How long does it need to be? It needs to be 3 paragraphs or more. You have to remember that this is a story, or it is a process of your learning. You took 3, 4, maybe even more weeks to create the assignment. So now we're asking you to give just a little bit of explanation on your learning to us now. So it's really not that much. Okay, so what are you doing? What are you actually doing mentally in your mind when you are attempting to write these reflections. Okay, this should be relatively obvious, but just in case, there are elements in your reflection that are connected to each other. First of all, you have the artifact. That is the best assignment that you can find that you created in your program here at South Piedmont to demonstrate or to be an example of the core skill or the program outcome. Okay, so this is a good piece of your work. Okay, for the outcome, you need 2 goals. These goals are based on the outcome statement and your plan for improvement. What do you need to work on in this outcome? What kinds of things do you need to do? Based on feedback, from instructors and maybe even from other students, what do you need to do better? Okay, so you can refer to, evaluations that you've received in the past, rubrics that you've received in the past, and rubrics are even good to get standards, because the standards that you use to evaluate your artifacts need to be, based on evaluation criteria that are mostly used for those particular kinds of assignments. Okay, the reflection itself. The reflection uses the artifact as the main example to demonstrate whether you've met your goals or not and whether you are competent in the outcome. So you are referring back to your artifact in the reflection, and you're telling us, how you created it, problems that you had, what you did, and that kind of thing. The way that you created something would be very different from anyone else. So this is your opportunity to explain your learning process, and so that's what you're doing. Okay, these are the main component parts of your reflection, and like I mentioned, at least I think I mentioned earlier, it is the story of your learning, and you can think about it as a narrative. Alright, you're going to have some actual artifact facts. Okay, what is the artifact? Describe it, give us assignment details. If you have criteria for evaluation, you could even include those, and that kind of thing. When you did it, for what class. You'll also need your 2 goals. You will also need to explain what I call the how and the why of the artifact. This is really analysis. How you did it, why you did it, the way that you did it, and issues of that nature. So anyway, you're breaking it down and you're looking at the significant component parts. Also, you need a discussion of the courses that contributed to the growth of this skill. Not just, well, I learned how to do this in English 111, 112, and English 243. What is it that you did in English 111 that contributed to this? What did you do in English 112 that contributed to this outcome, to the growth of this? Were your goals met? And what might you do differently in the future? When you have this kind of assignment again, what will you do to improve in the future? If organization, for instance, is still an issue with you, then what do you think you'll do to make it better in the future? Strategies, learning strategies that are used when you write about these showcase artifacts. First of all, you're evaluating. You are evaluating yourself and your skill in a particular general ed core skill outcome or program outcome. Also, you're analyzing and interpreting, in that you're breaking the artifact down into parts and you're looking at how the parts work together, and you're explaining what's meaningful about this particular assignment or artifact. You're telling it in a narrative or process analysis type of way, so you're using those strategies. Also, it's an argument. You are arguing that you have met these goals This is how you know, this is why you know that you've met them. And then finally, it's synthesis, because it's the coming together of various components, assignments from across your program to demonstrate your overall competence. This is the end of my presentation for today. If you have questions, please email me at tfraley@sbcc.edu, or you can stop by my office in the Academic Support Center. Nice talking to you. Have a great day.